Yo guys, so as promised, this video is how to bust Braille. This is strictly how to bust. This is not a guide to the raid or anything. This is just how to bust. So please be sure to subscribe if you guys do enjoy it, as 75% of you guys are not. And yeah, let's get right into it. So for gate 1, not much is too different. You will need to split the DPS of your busing partners into party 1 and party 2 to kill both sides. But after you guys go into the 4 rooms, stand in the circle and move your drivers into the same party again. And an extra tip, make sure there are as little supports as possible in party 1 and party 2. This makes it easier just to kill all 4 dogs. And worst case scenario, you can just thigh rain or use sidereal azena to kill the dogs. But after this, you just do the raid as usual. You can still thigh rain the 2 bosses. You still stand in your spots for 83 bar back. However, once you get to counters, this is the only thing that's slightly different. It depends on how many people you're busting with. If you're with 2 to 3 people, you want to call who counters and when. But if you're with 4 people, just go for whatever counter and do the gate as normal. But be sure to communicate when your counter is actually down. Now, gate 2 is where it gets a bit weird. You will need a stagger bot. This means any class with high stagger. They run vital hit point 3 with a necklace of expertise and mostly swift. I can make a short video on how to make Scrapper's stagger bot build, so let me know if you guys want to see that. Otherwise, you will likely have a GL as your stagger bot. So for this gate, if you do have a GL, you will not need to save for Inanna. However, the Gun Lancer and the support will have to awaken during the stagger at 145 HP max. If you do not have a Gun Lancer, you will need to wait for Sidereal Inanna around 150 HP bars. So for the stagger mech, you will need your stagger bot to go to the meteor at 11 o'clock, which then the support will cleanse your stagger bot, and the support will do their meteor as usual. The only reason you wouldn't use Inanna is if you have a support who awakens as well as a Gun Lance who also awakens. And as for the other members in the party, they can just do the same meteors at 5 and 7 o'clock positions, but keep in mind you are only doing one of the meteors, never 2. So next mech is at 100 bars, and you simply just do the stagger while the stagger bot carries you, and if they can't do it, then that's actual skill diff. Throw whirlwinds if necessary, put on overwhelms, but you guys should be able to do it as long as you have a stagger bot. And after this, just do the raid as usual to a 43 bar mech, but be sure to communicate the mechanics. At the 43 bar mechanic, you will have no one doing diamonds. All but one person will be doing squares, and for the other people, they will do stars in the middle. But be careful, because whatever color the boss is, you will need to break the corresponding color. It's a lot to go into, but you guys can refer to this image to know what to break. Once you guys do this mech, the next mech is at 0 bars and matches the colors. You guys can literally just do this mech, just have 2 people red, 2 people blue. But you guys only need to get 4 of these colors to be broken, I think. But if you don't clear it, you can just time stop and kill it again. You should have a lot of time left. Now, gate 3 is more or less the same. However, the important thing to note here is you cannot ever do the red cube mech. You will also need a stagger bot for this gate during yellow mech and the 90 and 20 bar staggers. During the yellow and blue mechanic, you guys just do the mechs as usual, but just be sure to communicate with your party about where you're going and who's doing what. Usually for yellow mech, the 2 DPS will catch and break, while the stagger bot and the support will do the stagger. As for 2 to 3 man buses, it is similar to this, just make sure you know who's doing what. So what happens if you guys do get the red cube? Well, you need to skip the mech, unless it's like at the start, then you can't skip it and you have to restart. If you don't skip it, you just wipe. What this means is you wait for a good pattern with a high DPS window. Good examples of this are the purple meteors that drop from the sky and the lasers that come out of the boss. But be careful, because you need tenacity skills in order to stand in these. You may need atrophies if the damage is close, but you should also pop Nineveh if you need to. You need about 15 to 20 bars to skip it. I will have an image at the end you guys can refer to on where to skip and where to not overburst. In order to skip, you guys need to understand the mech that corresponds to the cube will only happen every other phase. So in this clip, you guys see us do the yellow mech and then it goes straight to the blue mech. This means the red mech is the mechanic we would have to do, so we have to skip to do the blue mech. So if you do the yellow mech first and it shifts to red, just play normally and don't overburst. However, if the cube turns blue from yellow, you will need to skip from 140 HP to 125. And keep in mind, once you skip, the mech will happen instantly. If after the first stagger at 90 bar mech, you need to skip, you go from 70 to 55. You guys can refer to this image and it makes it much easier. And trust me, it's a lot easier the more you do it. It is possible to skip the stagger mech at 20 bars, that big stagger. However, it is very difficult. You may need Nineveh, you may need Atros. So that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed and you guys go bust your first Braille or whatever. But thank you guys for the support recently, and please subscribe if you did enjoy it, and I'll see you next week.